Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's transmission. This one feels like a very powerful one that's emerged in an accumulative way through the energies of the summer solstice. It connects back to the twin flame alignment workshop we did last June. We're working with the 6-pointed star, especially within the head, and the coming together of the masculine and feminine into divine union at certain levels, and to the Twin Flame Alignment workshop we just had on the solstice. So how I'm going to share this with you is first through the information of what's been coming through over the last few weeks at various multidimensional levels. So I speak of the energy that's coming in, how I feel that shifting through our bodies, what I see happening at the higher self level in both the divine masculine and the divine feminine, how I've seen this fed back through the various ways that our higher selves and our guides communicate to us so that we understand it consciously, such as songs, movies, seeing, repeating things in our environment, repeating words coming up, messages from guides, telepathic communication with twin flames. So I will take you through a journey of that so that you consciously understand the process. And we'll talk about also how you might see that move through your body and your energy and your life in terms of what comes up as these high vibrational codes, antidotes, upgrades move into your energy field and into your body. So I will put the timestamps for each section down in the description blocks below, and also any links to any art or other transmissions that I mention within this video. But also be aware that as I'm speaking, you are receiving the light codes I'm speaking about as I relay the story to you, because they're already processed and already in my energy field and already grounded. Also, all of the artworks are always receiving more light codes. They're dynamic. Each time we do a transmission with them, they receive more. Even the prints or the products from them do. So whilst you are looking at those on your screen during this transmission, do make sure that you get yourself into a centered, relaxed, open space and let your eyes wander over those images so that your higher self can discern which of those light codes within those images can come in visually through the energy field and through the frequency of my voice. After that, I'm going to share with you some excerpts from the transmissions already done so that you can get those raw light codes. These have already been integrated through my system and grounded and anchored into the earth grids, so your experience of them should be softer and more gentle than mine. Then I will also bring through channeled message and light language transmission that just ties it all together and basically puts a bow on it so that it is digestible by the system of everybody that will watch this video. And then at the end, I've got some announcements. So here we go with the information and the story for your conscious mind to be up to speed and to decide whether you want to receive these codes, how much of these codes you want to receive. And remember that you also need to listen several times, as you will get those codes and those shifts in layers. Once you've integrated one level, you will get another level. So here we go. So during the twin flame alignment on the solstice, we worked with several paintings which contain light codes. They contain healing energies. They've evolved over time. Each time they've been worked on from a healing space, channeling light codes, channeling energies, channeling wisdom into them. They're accumulative and they take years to actually complete. And so this one, you can see up here, we have, these represent the twin flames in their star origins, and they are together in their star origins. They're originating from the same place. We've got this twin flame spiral here, which is a manifestation spiral as they come down into the earth. And this is representing the shore, the earth. These golden eggs are the seeds of consciousness, the Christed consciousness, and the twin the star seeds, the solar star seeds. This is the kundalini that moves through the unified twin flame. So it's an ascended kundalini as such. And it's also connected to the seraphim and the dragons, the shining ones, they're called. What our attention was drawn to, other than the sun, which is the great central sun, in our workshop, of course being the summer solstice, the longest day, the most sun in the year, was these two star seeds up here that are twin flames that are not together. Ashakataya kashakato ushakoi. And we went through a little process of working with the heavenly star seed origin of the twin flames, working with them at that level, and working through the different layers of our multidimensional vessels in the feminine and the masculine through another painting, which is called Pot of Gold, and it is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, brings in all the cosmic colors, the completeness of the rays, the sunflowers that follow the sun, and the masculine and feminine as one down on the ground. I also feel that the colors of the rainbow in this, they are absorbed and you can see reflected back by the twin flame couple that are dancing as one, moving as one movement through two bodies, can also represent the merging of all of the chakras. I will share the excerpt from the twin flame alignment workshop with you that's relevant to this process. And then following that, as I started to bring the codes in for the Twin Flame Patreon reading that were for the new moon, this fire dragon was at the center of it. Ashakataya, ashakataya, kashakotoi. And in this we have again those two stars at opposite sides with the dragon standing in front. I had a spiritual experience where I raised up the ray, where I was higher up the ray before I individuated out a separate vessel from my twin, so we were still unified at that higher ray. And at that higher ray, we were this dragon. It was an incredible experience of power, potency. And you can see this dragon, it's burning the lower energies. So it's burning out the lower energies, keeping you separate. These are the energies you come in to work through to clear out the lower templates as you ascend it up to the higher templates that we're here to bring from our star realms, from our home, where we're already in unity, where we've already mastered the higher templates of love and unity and unconditional love. So the next step was these coming together at the heavens, the star seeds coming together at the heavenly origins. It came in, it anchored through this clearing down into the earthly homes, literally the homes, the location you and your counterpart are on this planet at this time. They anchored down into those homes as a unity, and then an infinity loop happened between those homes. So they came into union, though potentially in separate locations. They could be. A lot of people are not living in the same home as their twin, but basically unifying, coming in as one and activating the earth grids of unity. And from this, I then saw those locations merging and becoming one as one of the pair travel to the other, or they both travel to a single location to actually live in a living situation, co-creative living situation with their twin flame counterpart. So this is reunion on the ground. So I'm going to bring those light codes for you through as well. I'm just giving you the information about the process and what happens from there. So what then happened is, as those codes began to integrate through me, these are antidotes, high vibration light codes that come in, and as they come in, they push up as they burn off all those things that are not that. And so they come up into consciousness, you feel them, you purge them, and you really feel them a lot of the time. As I've already anchored a lot of those codes, I may have done a lot of that work for you already. And so it may be a smoother transition and a smoother receiving for you because I've been burning that off collectively, not just for myself. But things coming up are anything around identity, earthly identity rather than soul identity. Really, so many things in so many ways coming up around that, and around home, around boundaries in your home, around invaders in your home, around where you belong, where you fit, where on the planet you should be, what you should be doing, and whether you want to be in the same location that your counterpart is in. Also, the place of origin that you landed as a starseed. Where were you born? This also came up. And the next stage was experienced via the dream state as a powerful transformative nocturnal shift. The masculine counterpart relocated astrally and proposed marriage. Feminine agreed, and they took steps toward moving into a shared home and life together. Their self-experience. The masculine showed up from a long distance from another country and then showed up in the same country as the feminine. So even though this was happening at the high self level, there were very real energetic shifts that occurred in the co-creation between the masculine and the feminine. And though that relocation in the experience was different countries, this applies to even if they live across the road to you. So as this energetically occurred, which was the star seeds, twin flames, married at the high levels, so that's these stars coming together, I then started to observe in my higher awareness how my feminine and masculine within myself at the higher levels was coordinating everything on the ground. And there was this absolute certainty and agreement that the masculine on the ground, he's the one that does the physical material world work, where the money comes from, what's in the bank account, how it's created, what the mechanism is, all of that kind of thing. The container, the playing out on the ground. That he would absolutely 100% be there to receive the feminine when she landed. And I saw this symbolically, of course, as someone arriving at the point of origin on the earth where they were born, where they landed as a baby and were brought up and they anchored there as their starseed. The masculine was there at the airport to pick them up. This is the shift that happened as these light codes came through that unified star seed origins into the star home, into the earthly home, right? And I found that we're going back and reviewing everything about the place we landed when we were born, the point of origin. And what I found after that was this showing up on the ground symbolically in many ways as well. So it was not just seeing it in the astral realms or the higher self coordination or the higher multidimensional levels, but also seeing on the ground symbols and synchronicities about it. So just before doing this transmission, I felt pulsed to go for a 5-minute walk down my street. And as I walked down my street, I noticed there was a new mechanic there and it had a new name. So mechanics, that's like travel, movement, relocating, going from A to B, the mechanics of how things function, the masculine side. The mechanic was now called the name of the city where my counterpart landed, where my masculine landed, where he was born. I was just gobsmacked because that is so symbolic for this process that's been occurring since Saturday, with this coming together of the star home into the earthly home. This part of the story has a few layers in it, layers of pings and aha moments. In that I had a cat many years ago before I had physically met my twin or knew he existed. And I named that cat the name of the city that he was born in without knowing that that city even existed. And that cat has passed now. And so at this point, I asked the owner, who was standing out the front of the mechanics, what was the inspiration behind the name of this mechanics. And he said, well, it was the name of my dog who's now passed. So there was a lot of synchronicities there. And I was also reminded at that point the power of the feminine, because this was a mechanic and this guy had a whole bunch of other workmates watching from afar, teasing him because he was talking to a female. And I was reminded that I'm female shaped. I have female movements, I have a female voice, and the effect that has on the masculine, which brings up some other things that were coming through, which was unconditional love and beauty and self-love. So we've been working with unconditional love quite intensely as it's been coming in for a month or two in various different ways, which I won't go into now. And I'm talking about not just the concept of it, but the energy of it and this feeling of it calming in and landing. And I will talk about that shortly in terms of some paintings as well. But as this comes in, this is what opens up the feminine's ability to receive love, to connect to self-love. And for whatever reason that's been blocked in the past, it has been that it's been the key that has kept the masculine from really seeing her, is her ability to see herself, to love herself unconditionally and to receive unconditional love. And as that comes in, as she's able to receive that and she lights up with love and he can see her, this is where she starts to see her own beauty and her deservedness of love and her identity and who she really is. And when she can really see that and access that, she can anchor that into the earth, into her home. And that's when it can be a unified home as he can find her. We've spoken before about the soul song, and when you're really embodying your soul song, then you can be seen by each other and you can magnetize together into that sacred dance, which is the co-creative dance. So the next stage after this, marriage coming in and it activating the home on the ground and the unity in those earth grids, was that my twin flame reunion painting activated fully, the masculine fully embodied in that. And I walked past it on the wall, and as I walked past it, it activated, it jumped out at me, and I could really feel how activated and present the masculine was in that. And so from there, I then had an experience of seeing at the higher levels the feminine giving the masculine the pastel pink rose of unconditional love. This is something that I've been anchoring through another painting, which is another transmission. And it's where we're also connecting to our archangelic self and merging with the archangels. So as this occurs, and he's given that rose of unconditional love, it shows that it's divine time to come together, because we've graduated from the journey of learning about unconditional love. We've graduated. we can receive it, we can share it now. And this is because we've worked through the contrast of that. And the contrast of that is conditions, expectations of each other, working through all the ways that we reject each other, rejection, ghosting, neglect, abandonment, and working through all those wounds. So it means we've graduated from that. And to see the smile on the face of the masculine as he received that rose, worn almost as a medal, accepted as a medal of having achieved something great, that freed him up. It freed him up from having to reject, having to run, having to work through those abandonment issues within himself and his interactions with his counterpart. So as that happened, then I felt immediately, with that no longer necessary because we've graduated from that, was a physiological shift through the back of the mouth, the top of the throat, through the cranial base and out to the zeal point chakra, where toxicity released from. So it was held there. It was held there for a reason. It was held to create limitation, to prevent forward movement until this was solved. And it was alcohol. I could taste alcohol. I could feel alcohol shifting out of the cell, the physical cells of the body. And as that happened, it opened up that whole area inside the head that we'd worked with in the June Twinflame Alignment Group last year, 2024, where there was the pineal, the third eye, the zeal point, the talu, all the chakras inside the palate and the brainstem and throat chakra, all cleared and activated, and the pineal gland activated. This then connected us with the twin flame spiral activation of the pineal gland, which is the most recent transmission I did, which I will share below as well. So it activated that. And with that activating, that's where the abundance could come in, as we could connect to the higher aspects of self in unity as that starseed home becomes available through the pineal gland. So what I'd like to show you here is back on this twin flame reunion painting that was painted in 2012. There was a activation at the soul seat and the hara point. These are points on the hara line. This is our soul's purpose line. This is our mission that we've brought from our origins and the purpose that we're here as twin flames on this planet, in this time, in this dimension. And there's 3 points, 3 10s on that line. The last one is the pineal gland. So this felt to activate the pineal gland as I saw the unification of the crown chakra and the pineal glands in the twins. At that point, I was coming home from my walk, which was also my work, my energy work. And I got stopped in my tracks again. It was a 5-minute walk just down my street. There was a sign right in front of me saying, "We are hiring, we're looking for people to do assembly work day and night on future designs." There was some kind of shock happening energetically, and I realized it was a sign that we're coming out of that chrysalis phase that we've been in over the solstice, that real still point where we're holding that higher alignment to the new earth, to the higher timeline as we step out onto it. And as we do that, we're stepping out onto the future designs. So at the higher levels, they want people working consciously in their light work and nocturnally in their sleep, in the astral, unconsciously, on assembling the new earth at the higher platform, the unified high love templates, assembling the designs, the cities of light that are landing. And I have so much more to say about all of those things. Each of the things I'm talking about have so many other components and so many other things to share. And I really do hope to be able to get those assembled into other transmissions to share with you. There's just so much going on, and they're connecting to various artworks as well. Yes, as we anchor our starseed home and gifts into our unified homes where we come together on the ground with our twin flames in the twin flame reunion, we are manifesting the new earth. So the next thing that happened is that I had to purchase, whilst I was out on my walk, these flowers. Now, these flowers are twin flames. They're literally growing together. So they're growing together from the ground, roots in the ground, up to the heavens, and they look like flames. And they can be called dragon's breath. In our Patreon transmission, we brought in the golden solar dragon, which helps you stand in your masculine power and wisdom and reprograms your DNA, activates your light codes around your mission on Earth. And this mission is the unified mission, coming down, landing on the Earth and growing together, co-creating together in the same house, in the same pot. These were growing like this. I just transplanted them. I just relocated them into this pot. And this is the meaning of them here. They're basically passion, love, manifestation, abundance, and they represent flames. They're twin flames growing together. They're also at exactly the same height. So it reminds me of the twin flame spiral and where we got to in that, where they are growing at the same state. They're at the same level. They're meeting in the middle as equals and co-creating from the same platform. So on the same day that these light codes were anchoring our star home into our earthly homes, as twin flame unity in reunion came through, I also was being guided to buy some new flowers for some intention gardens, some small little intention gardens. I started creating them about 2 years ago. And what they do is, as they receive the light codes through the intention, but also through transmissions, light language, all of those kind of things, and put a plant in there and it grows, they, of course, anchor that into the grids and manifest it into reality. So it's an exercise in manifestation. And the one that's been lighting up for me energetically to be recreated with fresh new energy is the love garden. And so I feel, of course, that this is being upgraded with the twin flame reunion energies. So I may now call it the twin flame reunion garden. So that is something that you can also do at home to focus your intentional alignment and to consciously remind you of what you're manifesting, almost like a vision board. The next thing I want to speak about is my cats. My cats are always fantastic gauge and feedback from my environment and messengers of the gods as such around what's going on in the twin flame unity, because they are twins. They are a pair of identical black cats. They're actually brothers. And so I'll show you some photos here of the different configurations that I've seen. So the first image is the configuration when they, at the June Twin Flame Alignment Workshop last year in 2024, they were in a synchronized reflective configuration. Then image 2 is the configuration they got into where they were in symmetry and they were both cleaning the mirror reflection arm. And then the third one is the configuration they got into after the anchoring of the star home into the earthly home. So what I'll do now is I'll just share with you a little excerpt from the Twin Flame Alignment workshop, and you can receive some codes that I felt were relevant to this process that I think you should receive before you receive the next one, which is actually these coming together, anchoring into the ground, into the current home, and clearing out past homes and clearing out where you landed and anything related to that and any program related to that, bringing it into the here and now, creating the future pathway forward into the new earth at the higher timeline, unified, high love template. Here is the excerpt from the Twin Flame Alignment workshop we just had. Shakatia kaya kutoya kashataya kashataya kai. So to be able to receive these light codes through the sounds, the light language, your energy field, and the visuals, just get yourself into a relaxed state, feet on the ground, heart open, mind in neutral, and allow the sounds, conscious and unconscious, images and feelings to just move through you with the intention to receive that which is for your highest good. And so see how those two twins are apart, and there's something in the middle here. We're bringing those into unity like this side. We're bringing these disconnected twins together. And there's the golden. You can feel that. Ashakatia kaya kotoya kashakatia kaya kotoya koi 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 koya ta ia kaya koya ta ia kaya kashakatoya koi 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 koi. We're bringing this energy of this cosmic sun and these golden eggs, the seeds again. Ashakata ia koya ta ia kaya kata ia kai. Ia kaya kotoya kaya kaya kia kai. And these are sunflowers, so they follow the sun. Tia kashakata ia kaya kuta ia kaya 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 ta ia kai. Something shifting out through the diaphragm and the throat. Ashakata ia, third eye now, akia ta aya koi. Ayakata ia kaya katoya kaya taya koi. Crown. Ashakatia kaya 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 kaya. Oya kaya tai. The twins, their crowns are merging. Ashakata ashakai. Ashakata ia kaya kataya kato oya kata aya kotoya kai. Aya kaya kai. And the hara pointing the belly, also looks a bit like a sun, is merging as well. Aya koya ta aya kaya katoya kaya kia ta aya koi kai ti ai koi ta ai. Ikatoya ashati ai. Remember, you were thinking about the back of the head and the bottom? So I'm seeing the bottom on this masculine right now. Ashakata, ashakata, shakata, ashakata, shaka, ayata, ay, iaka, ay, throat. Ashaka, ayata, iakayatai, iakoyatai, iakai. I'm seeing the violet ray. Ashakatoya kata, iakataya, ayakatoya ka, ayatai. And a clearing out the back of the heart of the masculine. Ashakata, ayakashatai. Lower back, a back of the sacral. Ashakata shakata ayakai. Throat. And then the knees and calves, it's like that flexibility and moving forward. So releasing those limitations, those rigidity in the way things done or how it's done or what can be done, that rigidity, rigid beliefs around that. Ashakata ayakai. Crown expanding. Capability coming in. So instead of limitations being replaced by capability. Ashakataya tahiakai. Ayakatia kayatai. Hands are bright with golden light. Ashakatia kayatoi. Ia kayatoyatai. Ia koi, back of the heart expanding. Ashakatia kayakoya kai. And now I feel that he sees her. So do you remember we were getting that unless she's being the love, she's not visible to him? So now seeing her. She's becoming visible to him. And that's those eyes opening, solar plexus clearing, sacral chakra clearing, jaw clearing. Jaw aligned to that open crown. It's expanding to the size of this open crown. Back's expanding. And then I'm getting the love bubbling up in the masculine heart at recognition of who she is. Third eye fully activating now in the masculine. And then the throat activating where he expresses his true feelings. That was an excerpt from our Twin Flame Alignment workshop. Following that, we had a lot of symbology about clocks lining up and the gift of the groom to the bride on their wedding day of this clock, and synchronicities in the physical world of clocks lining up. So this was divine timing for union on the ground. And this is the transmission that followed spontaneously from that. So I'm seeing an infinity loop now happening between our homes. Ashakataia kashakatoya kashakata ayakia tayakoya. So I'm connecting our homes. I can actually feel a thread going between our homes right now. Ashakataia koyataia kotoya kai. I'm seeing the hummingbird phone. Ashakatia kaya kotoya kashataia kai. Transmissions. Ashakataya kaya kotoya kaya kashata I. Yeah, so I'm seeing an infinity loop now happening between our homes. Ashakataya kashakatoya kashakata ayakia tayakoya. And I'm seeing I have a crystalline flower with a hummingbird with its nose riding the flower. They're two separate things, but they came together through this ascension process, through this twin flame ascension process. And I'm seeing them together with his nose in it, and the light codes from that moving through the center of my house and the center of his house, through the earth grids. Ashakatia kashata kaya kaya to oyakai, ia kaya kata oyakaya ta iakai. Yeah, that's done. So that was the clocks and the divine timing, him inviting you in. I'm seeing the ring finger on my light language symbol hand. Ashakatoya kashakata ayaya tayoyakai. And the lifestyle, I'm hearing the lifestyle coming in. The unified lifestyle, but also the soul lifestyle in terms of our soul presence and our soul mission. Ayakata ayakoyata ay. All right. So those were the light codes, transmissions, light language, and insights that I wanted to bring forward from the previous light codes and processes leading up to now. And now I'm just going to conclude that with a channeled message and a bringing together of anything within this particular group that's watching this video that needs to come together or be tidied up and cleaned up and anchored. So here we go. Aya ashakia ataya kaya kotoya ka ashakai ataya taya tai. So what I'm feeling is the soul seed area. This is still on that spiritual anatomy that is about us following our life's purpose down in the ground. This particular point is the one that's merged on the twin flame reunion painting. The hara and the soul seed in the chest are merged in the high heart area. And what has just merged is the pineal, the 3 points on that line, ashakatia. So I'm feeling an achiness in that desire to fulfill that life's purpose that is merged or partially merged on that twin flame reunion painting. Ashakaia koyatai. Just getting an activation. Ashakataia koyatai kaya kai. I'm seeing the clogs coming together with the ring finger, wedding ring finger lit up on the ground. Ashakatia kashakatoya ka'aia kakoya kakaya kai. feeling the feet chakras lit up. Ashakata ia kashakata ia kaya 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 koya kai. Pineal gland lit up. Ashakatia koya kata ia kaya kaya kaya. I'm seeing the dancers dancing together in as one movement through two bodies. Ashakata ia koya kaya kai. Really lit up though. And I'm seeing the steps of the dance, both feet moving together at the same time in synchrony. Aya kata oya ka ia kaya 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 kaya. Akasha kasha 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 tu 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 tu. And there's a clearing through the upper spine, at the back of the throat chakra, at the back of the area where the soul seat is, the desire to fulfill the life's purpose. Ashakata ia koya ka ia taya kai. Crown activating and energy extending right up to the heavens. That bridge between the crown and the heavens being bridged, lit up as a bridge of light, of golden light. And I'm seeing that rainbow, all the colors of the cosmic rainbow lit up with that. Ashakataya kuya takaya kuya. Ashakatoya, they're saying rest. Make sure you rest to be able to integrate this. Ashakataya kaya to oya kai. Feeling the hara in the belly activating. Ashaka oya ta ia ai. Ia to oya ai. Ia koya ta ia ai. A tia 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 tia. A tia tia tia. You might feel nausea. Feel nausea with this. Ashakata ia koi. A sacral chakra. Some of you, there's a bit of resistance. You're not sure about receiving this. Just let your body know you're safe. You're aligned to receiving only that for your highest good. Release through the neck vertebrae. Ashakata ia koya ta ia oi ataya ya. Ataya ya ya ia aya 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 aya. Ia aya 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 oshata ia kai. More aching in that soul seat area, the thymus area there. Ashakata ia koi in the sternum, ia koi throat activating. Both twins, ashakatoya. Ashakatoya I ai. Wings coming out in the back. Ashakataya koya ka ai. Ashakata. Feel that you're embodying your archangelic presence. Ashakata, ashakatasha, ashakatashaka. Akaya ya 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 ya. Aya ya 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 kaya aya katoya. Ayakata aya kaya taka. Throat chakra activating further and expanding beyond the horizon. Ashakatoya. Crown expanding beyond the horizon. Ashakatoya. Ashakatoya. Golden energy pouring out through the hands. Ashakatoya kataya aya 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 aya. Ishatakoya. Simultaneously through both twins and through the collective, the twin flame collective. Ashakatoya kashata ai. Iakaya ta'ai. They're like beacons of light coming out of your hands, golden beacons of ashakataya. Ashakataya koya ta iakaya taya koi. Iakaya toi, iakaya toi. Ishataya koya ta iakai. Ishakaya to oya kia tai. Iakaya taya toya ta iakai. In the benevolent spectrums of light that enfold you now, you are being aligned to the higher orchestration of the collective twin flame mission, as well as your individuated missions with your twin flame counterpart. Through the concise measurements and activities of the light workers in the twin flame collective, there have been multifold shifts and elevations into the higher spectrums and enabling a bridging of the gaps that have been there until this point in time. As these leakages and blockages are cleared and the full rainbow bridge is activated, you are able to now activate collectively as a twin flame unity in a way that has not occurred until now due to many interfering factors and frequencies and spectrums bleeding through into each other. As this is now coordinated and synchronized in a similar way to an orchestra and a dance, you are now dancing collectively as a twin flame collective and in your individual pairs. end time with each other in a synchronized dance. I just felt intense energy moving through me, and I feel like I want to cry. I see the guides surrounding us and applauding. Ashakataya kashakataya koya ataya yayi. Ayakotoya kaya tai. Iakatia oya kaya ta iakai. Iakatoya ka ayatai. Iakatoya kata ayakaya ta iakai. Like synchronized swimmers, synchronized dancers, all in unison, creating a movement upwards into the ascended new earth and creating a new paradigm shift that is powerful and responsive and that penetrates into the earth grids and humanity as a collective, upgrading the love templates to divine love. Blessings and much love to you. So that was a beautiful completion, and be aware that you have received about 40 minutes of light codes through visual, auditory, and energy field transmission that you need to now integrate. And you may notice any of those things that we've been saying coming in, any of the opposites of those coming up for clearing. They're just coming out through your field to be released. Let them go with joy. Let them move through. Don't judge them. Don't hold on to them. Don't take them on as your own. Remember, they're shifting out as you elevate up into that synchronized dance, not just with your own higher self, your twin flame counterpart all the way from heaven to earth, but also the twin flame collective as we create the new earth together. So drink a lot of water, rest when you need to. They did emphasize rest. And understand that it takes a little while for those energies to move through into physical reality. And so you'll go through a detox process. You'll go through energetic, emotional, mental detox. So be patient and loving with yourself as you go through that. So just a few things I wanted to announce. There are a lot of different ways that you continue receiving those codes through artworks, through transmissions, through memberships. This week, we've done a live workshop where we anchored those codes throughout this process into artworks. So if you would like to anchor those codes into your own artwork, including the light codes from the Twin Flame Spiral, or you want to just join the workshop in replay, we've already done the live one, to receive those light codes as we go through and see how painting is made. I'll put the link in the description below for that. There's also some other related readings and transmissions. The Patreon Twin Flame reading occurs on the new moon every month. You can join a monthly membership and have access then to all of the previous ones that are on that platform. Or if you just want to receive one of the transmissions, you can buy them individually as well. A recent development as we've come out into the newer platform after this solstice is that I have switched on the community tab, which means that I can post updates and news over there. I can let you know when there are other things going on outside of the YouTube platform that you might be interested in. And if you are subscribed, you can also post on there so you can connect with other people that are also receiving these light codes and connecting to this work. So I think that's about it for now, and I hope you can receive those well, and we'll see you in the next transmission. Take care.